Hello, James from Prague here, and welcome to SoulCARE. How are you doing today? June 7th. June 7th, 2021. I hope you're all doing very well from wherever you are. And welcome. I'm glad you're letting me into your space. I know that it's taking a while to connect, so I'll wait till everyone's connected here. I just love, I don't know, had a lovely morning of yoga, feeling great. And things are starting to open up in the US here. So that's very nice. But I still think people should be cautious. So that's good. Let's see comments. Liz back. Yay! You got good vibes. Thank you. I was going to open up with my mask on, but I thought, no, I don't need to do that. My sense of humor. Hi, Crystal, Renee, Laura, Cynthia. I feel like it's been forever. I haven't spoken to you guys. Sheila, Renee, Darlene, Judy, Nancy. I'm California. Yeah, let me know where you're calling from, where you're on from. Have you all become experts in Zoom? Isn't it amazing? I don't think it's going to end Zoom. I think Zoom is going to continue. A lot of businesses are going to use Zoom instead of being physically in a place. I think a lot of people have gotten used to this, so they're going to save money. I bet businesses will save money. They'll do it this way, but I still like being in person too. I like teaching in person. I'm going to just accept a date in person. Dun, dun, dun. It'll be April of next year, actually. I'll be going to Peekskill, New York, so that's starting to come up. Hello from Nashville. Hello to Comps. Nancy Beagle, hello. Caroline from Dracot, Massachusetts. Barb Donovan, Ontario, Canada. Andrea Danes from UFO land. What about UFOs? I know it's becoming much more aware in the media, thank God, about time. I was just watching a show last night on Netflix, a UFO show. I think it's called Beings of Light. You should all watch that. It's a lady from Canada who was able to record them on film, many different experiences. And she had this experience in her life. I'm not sure I'm getting it right, but that's sure she hit her head or something happened to her, traumatic, and then she was able to see them when they told her they'd be around. She put her camera up and catch them on. I know UFOs exist. I've seen UFOs very clearly. I've been close encounters of the first kind, I guess I should say, third kind, where they were right next to me, so I've seen them. I was at a big party once. I had a TV show called Beyond many years ago, and someone threw a big party for me in Hollywood and Vine at this place, and about 200 people there in the on the guest list, and we're all milling around, and some of us went out to the patio outside, probably about 60-70 people, and all of a sudden I looked up and there was this big ship, and all of a sudden at the bottom of all these lights, and I was like, oh my God, it's a UFO. I've been in Hollywood, huge. And I looked up at my friend Jordy and my friend Dorothea. The three of us all at the same time looked at each other. The three of us saw this thing. We're separated in the courtyard, far away. We looked at each other, and we all saw the same thing. Nobody else saw it but us. So I do believe a lot has to do with the frequency and the vibration that you place your mind, the frequency that you're at. And the lady does this movie, Beings of Light, talks about that she meditates every night before she goes to sleep. And I did an event in Sedona, Arizona one year where I brought 30 people there and to see UFOs. And we were able to only after we raised our vibration. And then after we raised the vibration through prayer, meditation, brought ourselves up to that higher frequency, we were able to see the different vehicles, vessels, ships, whatever you want to call them. And it's so interesting. That shows you what Beings of Light. It's on Netflix. Definitely watch it, because this lady takes pictures of these ships, I guess these lights, and all of a sudden they'll change and they become light, and they show actual people in windows looking at her. So pretty trippy. So there you go. Hi, Dee from Chicagoland. How are you? Hello from Oregon. Brazil. Spiritism. Yeah, Spiritism. Allan Kardec. Kardecians. So Kardecian Spiritism. Allan Kardec was a Frenchman who was, I believe, a Catholic priest, and it was also a spiritualist, which is a belief in the life after death and spiritual communication. And Allan Kardec mixed, if you will, Catholicism and spiritualism, and came up with something called Spiritism, and actually went to Brazil and started a big movement there called Spiritism. And it is a cross between Catholicism and spiritualism. So it's very interesting. I believe in no religion except love, but I don't believe in any isms. I don't believe in rules per se. I just believe in love. But Spiritism is definitely a big popular belief in Brazil. I've been to Brazil many times. Lots of good people there. Watch Cosmic. This is Antoinette Baron Birdsell. Watch Cosmic Disclosure on Gaia. All about this. Great show. Okay, thanks, Antonetta. Watch Cosmic Disclosure. It's becoming more and more obvious, and more. It'll be coming out more and more and more. It's a really wonderful thing. I believe there are many different beings out there. So many galaxies. Come on, millions of galaxies. How can we think we're the only ones? But I think we get closer because they want us humans to destroy each other. I think that's it. So very good. All right. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about, I was thinking what to talk to you about, and I thought I should share with you a course that I did on my own. So, I was my school, the JP School of Mystical Arts, and I thought, well, what good am I to talk about if I don't use it myself? So I did for the past month, it would be May, end of April, May, 28 days. I did my 28-day course and did it myself because I figured, well, if I go back into the 28-day course, I want to see what happens when I do it. So there it is up there. And I did the course and I had some really amazing insights. And I want to share with you one of the insights I had of transformation because it's a course that the spirit world gave me for people who are stuck in their lives in emotional ways, physical ways, codependent ways. I was in a codependent relationship and I was married 23 years and I divorced. And I think it's one of the best things I ever did for myself and for my partner. And I think it takes a lot of courage to do that, a lot of faith to do that. And I had to do that. And I feel back to myself. And I believe souls come together for as long as they're meant to come together to learn, to grow. And I believe that there's some souls grow out of a relationship or go in a different direction than the other. And it's not good or bad, just is. And in my case, that's what happened. But it was very difficult. And also I went into retirement, kind of semi-retirement. And that in itself adds a lot of I would say anxiety or anxiousness, but a little bit because you're changing your life. So anytime I change your life, there's always a little sense of that. And I want to say fear because it's not fear because I don't believe in fear because I've always been taken care of. I think we're all taken care of. But that does cause the human does go through a little bit of anxiousness. And it's the unknown, of course. That be as it may, I took the 28-day transformation, total transformation course because I thought I have to do that because I have to walk my talk. And I did. And I found that the 28-day transformation course was designed, as my guides told me, that you take you do each 15 minutes a day, 15 and a half an hour processes, 28 days progressively in a row. You cannot skip a day because they build up. The course is a progressive. It builds up on the day before. And I found that to be extremely true this time that I took it. And one of the highlights of the 28-day course, which came probably around day 22, 21, throughout there was a theme, and the theme for me, and I'll be very personal with you, that's who I am, was a sense of what I had to work on. There wasn't any anger. It wasn't anything like that, but there was a sense of ancestral stuff that came through and approval. And I found out that it wasn't from my mother's side, it was my father's side. And it came through this way, and I'll be sharing with you. There's a book called Life Before Life. It's a great book about the soul who comes in before they come back into the incarnation. They look around and they become very aware of what the atmosphere is like before they come into the body, right? For instance, whether the financial arrangements of mother and father, can they afford the child, or is it been looking forward to have this child? They haven't been able to have a child, or whatever it might be. Are there other siblings involved? So forth. Good book, Life for Life. It tells you what that soul, they regress to a point of what they were aware of before coming into the incarnation. And through my 28-day transformation course, I too would regress through the course. I regressed myself back, and I became I surrendered. And I was wondering about approval, and I never received approval from my father's side of the family. My father, and I was the youngest of 4, and I never ever got from him. Remember, I'm down at age 2. Maybe I was even down to 9 months, I remember. But there was never a real sense of closeness there. Never a real sense of bonding there. And I always ended up being the adult more than the child. So it's very interesting because through this process, 28-day transformation, what came to me was through my father, the word just came in through one of the processes, unwanted, that I was unwanted by him, unwanted, which meant to me that unwanted could be that I was an accident, not planned, if you will. And when that came in, it's like, now that makes sense to me. That makes complete sense to me, especially with the relationship I had with him. That makes complete sense because I've always felt there wasn't really much of a relationship with him, more of my mother. And there was always that sense of something was missing. And he never believed in what I did as far as a medium. And I'll never forget when a New York Times reporter, this is a really bad reporter, I got to tell you, he went to my father when I was on television, he went to my father for an interview. He did a whole thing on me, a whole story on me, interviewed several people. And my father was ailing at the time. And he asked him, what does he think of my career? And my father said, oh, I'm glad he's making some money. And the guy, of course, put that into the Times article, which is not right to do that to a gentleman who doesn't understand anything. Anyway, so my father didn't really believe anything until his dying day and his deathbed. And I was with him when he died, and I saw his spirit above his head. And the other siblings were with me. And I said, Dad, I said, well, why won't you go? We all said, why, it's okay to go. We'll be fine. And he said, I don't want your kids fighting over the house. Now, his house was a very big deal to him. He worked his whole life for his house. And we agreed not to, at which point he left the body. He went. He came back within 5 minutes, I'd say, and said to me, James, you're right. You're right. Oh, my God, you got it right. I'm alive. There's no death. You're right. You're right. Thank you. That was the first time the acknowledgement was there. And now he used to watch me on television every single day, and but didn't necessarily believe in it. It's very pragmatic. So it took that experience. But this 28-day transformation course really was the thing, that unwanted thing, kind of like opened up the door. And I'd never known that before until I did this course. So, and that word unwanted really makes it really interesting to me. And I'm not affected by it. I'm really not. I chose this family. We choose our families. We choose our siblings, our parents to learn things from. And you think I might have learned that when he was in the body, but it was at the time. And I was open in this course just to surrender to see what would happen. And that's what happened. So I wanted to share that with you. This very powerful course, the 28-day transformation course. So I wanted to share that. So if you're being stuck, or if you want to find out some more information about yourself, about your status as far as your family, what's going on around you and your family, with your belief in yourself, your non-belief in yourself, trying to get out of a relationship, trying to do something new with your life, what's holding you back, this course would help you. It would definitely help you. And it teaches you about surrendering and really having that relationship with yourself, getting into touch with you. Yeah. Sheila does it. It's so sad to me at the same time. Yeah, sad, I guess. I don't know if it's sad. I don't know. I understand it. I mean, I've done so many thousands of readings with the same situation with the spirits. So not sad, but yeah, love acknowledgement. Loving school with James. Thanks, Clearly Cat. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. I wanted to share that with you. So anyway, it does go, the 28-day transformation course goes into depths of your soul that I don't know if I could describe it. I made some notes here because I had to make sure I wrote this down for you guys, that I wouldn't forget anything, because it delves into depths of your soul that were that unconscious or subconscious on a subconscious level. It releases old traps, it releases old patterns, and makes you whole and full again. And in a way, that sense of not feeling unwanted, made me understand him better. So, and it's a relationship, and I totally forgive him and understand him. And so, in a way, it's a freedom, is it what it is? Yeah. Diane, Tim, you're enjoying the courses. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the courses. Which course do you like the most is what I would love to know. Am I going to have events with readings, Lisa? Yes, Lisa. I'm going to set up another month of that where we'll do readings. I definitely will. An evening of spirit messages. We're setting up right now. I think it'll be in July, but I'll let you guys know when it's going to be. I've been enjoying the time off, to tell you the truth. But I haven't been off, but I've worked with a school and worked with the mediums, and so not really off. But I've been enjoying some time just to relax and take it a little bit easier. You're doing all right financially. Your dad may have given more to others. Yeah, I'm doing fine financially. Who isn't? Right? I don't worry about finances. It's something I got to be very mindful of. That I don't really. I love money. Is a great energy. It's great you have money. You should always envision having money, but it's what you do with it that matters. It really is. It's not the keep. It's the what you do. And I know a lot of people. I have a lot of clients, a lot of money, and it defines them, and that's a trap. Yeah. Lisa Watts. Hi, James. What was the name of your book? Thanks. Well, Leslie, I have a lot of books. First book is called Talking to Heaven. And then there's Reaching to Heaven. Then there's Healing Grief. Then there's a book for children called Looking Beyond. A book about meditations called Meditations. James Prod. Heaven and Earth is another book. Wisdom of the Guides. Power of Love. And I'm sure there's one or two I'm missing in there. But you can catch them all on my website, vanprog.com, right there. Renee put that up. Another question from Jamie Marie. Where do we find your courses? Oh, I have a great school, Jamie Marie. It's the JVP School of Mystical Arts.com. I have over 42 different types of courses. And they range from healing courses to 20-day transformation course to psychic intuitive courses to mediumship courses. A Day in Heaven is a really popular one where I bring you through a full day processes of bringing yourself to the spirit level, to an altered state of consciousness where you meet your loved ones and your guides. And that's a great one. I have another course about meeting your guides. There it is right there, jpschoolmysticalarts.com. That's it. But just check it out. Just check it out and see if any of them resonate with you, because there'll be some courses that resonate and some don't, and they're yours for a lifetime. So when you have it for a lifetime. And I often say, if you feel you want to give that to somebody, you've taken the course, you paid for it once, and you feel you can give it to one person, then you can do that. But don't abuse that, right? You can use it, but don't abuse it. That's my thing. And I leave that up to you. Okay? You're welcome, Carolyn Zook, for my insight. Thank you very much. Self-awareness is awesome. It is, right? That's all we have is self. Teresa Whitman, all your lessons help me understand better with people and more compassionate for it. Yeah. Everybody has their stuff. Everybody's been through it. Everybody, when you meet, has a whole, I would say, a truck of a moving van behind them, all their stuff. Because we're so totally in makeup right now. As you're watching this, you're a complete makeup of every experience you've ever had before, right? You're a sum total of all that. There are people in your life that are going to be better or worse, and it's up to you to really help them to understand themselves better, I think, to bring light to them, to light of understanding and awareness. Okay. Sherry Grigori, how do you know if you are intuitive? Well, Sherry, what do you feel? What do you know? If you know things before they happen, you're an intuitive. Everybody has a sixth sense. Not just five senses. The sixth sense is your knowingness. Every one of us has instinct. So you can call it instinct, intuition, knowingness, psychic. Doesn't matter the label you put on it. But you would not have been able to survive as a baby if you didn't have that sense of connection with your mother, right? There's an instinctiveness that you have with your mom. That's intuition. That's the soul's tuning for. So some have more intuition, more to the level than others. It can definitely be developed if you give yourself the time to do that. It will be developed, but you must give yourself time. And coming with that is developing that. In developing, you have to sit in the stillness. I call it the stillness of your being, sitting in the quiet of your soul. And it's through that quiet stillness you really begin to feel and to know and to really honor that sense of self. Belinda Metz, what are your thoughts about abusive, toxic family members? Stealing inheritance is very dark. It's been a difficult journey in that my dad passed last summer and my intuition always knew what these two people were up to. My mom passed before. Well, that's who they are. So you can continue. If there's no drama, there's no show. There's no audience members. So if there's no drama, there's no audience members. Or no audience members, no show, I should say. So you can keep that going as long as you want, Linda, as far as you're aware of people like that. But I wouldn't judge them personally. The act, yes, it's not the right thing to do, but they don't know any better. They're limited. So I don't have toxic people in my life because I say, no, bye-bye. I won't do that to myself. I just recently cut a person in my life, and she was not nice to a certain friend of mine. And I said, your time has come to say, my time has come to say bye-bye. Won't accept that energy. And you got to set boundaries. Family members too, set boundaries. And it's unacceptable. But don't judge them. It's unacceptable. as far as what that way you behave is unacceptable. I don't appreciate around me. Okay. Mary McCauley, where can I purchase your books? You can go on AOL, no, AOL, Amazon, Amazon. They're all on Amazon, every one of them. And I always put positive reviews. Okay. Yeah, yes, Amazon has all my books and my tapes, some of my meditations, but check out the school first. Brianna Collins, your Psychic Portals course has actually really helped me with my anxiety. Thank you. You're welcome, Brianna. That's good. I'm very good. It's a very good course. Psychic Portals is a very good course for you if you're intuitive, you feel you might be intuitive. It's a good, easy way. I bring you through the simplest way to understand intuition, your own psychic ability, try to honor that, and believe in yourself. So very good. I'm glad to hear that. Rebecca Smith Driver, a friend of mine said you have to go through all the steps of grief, including anger, but I have no anger towards my dad's passing. Is that okay? That's okay, Rebecca. That's okay. You don't have to go through all of them. Listen, my love, everybody grieves differently. So one person might have to go through all through the stages. Another person might go through the stages. You don't have to go through all the stages. Everyone's different. So your grief is different than everybody else. So there's no one way to grieve. Okay. Lisa, Emma, James, what does empowerment mean to you? Empowerment means to me to believe in my own self be true, to believe my own power, my own belief system, who I am, to love myself more than anybody else could, that what I feel is right. I don't have to look to other people to tell me my truth. I know myself. What other people think of me is none of my business. I have my own power, my own sense of things. I know right from wrong. And I don't have to look for anybody else to validate me. That's what empowerment is. Empowerment means you empower yourself with who you are. You say the right things. You do the right things. Don't look outside of yourself, the truth. This is from, hold on one second, Lisa Press. I met you when Anthony, suicide, spent 2 years leading me to you. Okay. You confirmed I'm a conduit with his experience led us to your appearance outside Philadelphia. Rather took over the second half. I want to talk to you. Lisa Press. I vaguely remember that, Lisa. I remember it was a big auditorium, big theater in Philadelphia. Don't remember the whole thing because I've only done probably 100,000 readings, right? So I don't do private readings, Lisa, but I do have people on my website, vanbrugge.com, that will do sessions with you. Okay. Okay. Another question, Renee. Yes. Freedom comes from boundaries. Yes, it does. Isn't that interesting? Sunshine Jen, I am a medium and lately getting hounded by people saying Bible speaks against it. Best response. Sunshine Jen, again, I don't know. You say you're a medium. I don't know how long you've been practicing. So when you say that, I just don't know what that means. You're being a medium. How long you practice. So someone who's been a medium for a long time and has been developing for a long time would know exactly what to say to people of the Bible. Why are you being hounded by people saying Bible speaks against it? That's their truth. That's not your truth. Just say, that's nice. I mean, don't give it any bad energy. I wouldn't give it any energy. I mean, why? Just say, well, that's your belief system. Good for you. That's nice. And, I just say that's your truth, not my truth. So, no, the Bible, religion, what can I say? There's always a lot of judgment in the religion. Why is that? Judgment is fear-based. A lot of religions are fear-based. You know that. Okay, Joanne Bacciari, can you talk more about your mediumship course? I feel like I'm in between beginner and intermediate. Not sure which level is best. Well, Joanne, you should take the mediumship one for sure. I think it's closed now, but that's the beginning. Even if you've taken courses before, it's a very good basic course. Psychic Portals is also a very good basic course. Let me just tell you, Joanne, just put things in perspective. I sat for 7 years in development in a circle, mediumship circle, 7 years, without giving out one message, because I wanted to make sure that what I got was exactly accurate. And I knew it was a big responsibility. So you've got to be in a space where you develop in a circle and you really come from your heart and the spirit world. You don't snatch and grab, because that's not mediumship. That's snatching and grabbing. You have to know the difference between psychic and mediumship. So mediumship 1 is the basic fundamentals of mediumship, the mechanics of mediumship. Psychic Portals is also a good basic course. Psychic 1 is a very good course on grounding yourself, grounding your energy, how to sense between your energy and someone else's energy. How do you feel something? Is it coming from yourself in your own heart, or is it coming from your head? How do you discern between the two? What's the difference? So Psychic Portals, Mediumship 1 have these, cover these both in there. So you'd have to, again, go to the school and read up on the course is the best way for you to really get the fully in-depth description of what they're about. Okay. Sam Bettel, thank you, James. So grateful for you and your teachings. What is the difference between clear empathy or clairsentience, and clairsentience? Well, it's the same thing, really. Sensing. Clear empathy is, I remember clear empathy, empathizing. So feeling, it's really the same thing to me. Feeling, sensing, or feeling emotions is what it is. And sensing is the same thing. Sensing is feeling the emotions. So don't get caught up in labels as much as it's the same thing, as far as I'm concerned, feeling the emotions. Renee and Mackenzie, can you elaborate more? You say we pick our families. Yes, we do. We do, Renee. So before we come back to this incarnation, we sit with our guides and our teachers, master teachers, if you will, guides who have been with us through many lifetimes, if you will, guides who are specialists in a field that we're maybe involved in or going to be working in the coming lifetime. And we tend to pick, if you will, with our counsel, those souls that we have a connection with. Usually it's called a soul group that you've shared many, many lifetimes with, and you've had made perhaps different roles with those characters, those souls. So think of it this way. There's a stage and there's a play. Each lifetime is a play. And that play in that lifetime, you play a certain role. Maybe you're a father, maybe you're a daughter, maybe you're a friend, maybe you're someone that comes in and creates something to happen for someone to learn about it. Maybe it's all different types of roles you play. And that play might be about many different things. It could be about a suicide. It could be about unexpected death. It could be about someone cheating somebody. It could be about someone stealing someone. It could be about someone getting a Nobel Prize. It could be all different types of things. So we take on different roles in our soul groups. Think of it this way. That soul group, let's say, is made up, and this is just me making this up. I'm not saying it's definite 10 people. I'm saying, let's say we have a group of 10 people, right? And they want to put on a play. And each lifetime you take on a different role: grandmother, mother, father, son, daughter, to take on what it feels like to be a father or a mother. What is the relationship between the father and the daughter, the father, the son and the mother? So we take on all those different roles. There's, let's say, 10 people, right? And then it takes on all those different roles to learn what's it like to the different aspects of relationships. That's really what it's about. So each lifetime you'll sit with your counsel before you come back, and you sit and you pick with them, with the other souls, who's going to be the mother this time, who's going to be the father, what's going to be like in this lifetime, the scenario I'm being born into. So that's really what I'm talking about. And the great book again, Life Before Life. You should read that. June, hello, June. Lovely photo, June. I love your photo. A little self-doubt there, though. It takes me a long time meditation to connect to those on the other side. Because you can't get out of your head. That's why, Joan, you're in your head too much. Can I find ways to connect more quickly? Yes, get out of your head. Mostly when I'm asleep, and wakefulness is when I can. Right. And it's asleep because you're not conscious of it. So the more you can sit and be unconscious of it, the best. So, June, I'll tell you something I've mentioned many, many times here, which is sit in the quiet. So what I do is I have a walk-in closet. And every day for 15 minutes, I sit there in the quiet. There's no noise from the outside. There's no people. I can hear no people from the outside world or animals or any children. And I sit quietly, and I really pay attention to my breath, breathing in and breathing out, and breathing in and breathing out. And that's all you do. That's it. So it's a passive meditation. And you sit for a while like that, and you become aware. As you continue doing that, you slowly become aware of yourself, your inner self, the feeling of your heart pumping blood. You'll be able to feel the energy of just you going through your body, the space around you. You begin to expand. You start feeling space all around you and in front of you and behind you and either side. And the longer you sit, the more you'll begin to feel that. So I sit about 15 to 20 minutes a day. And it really, really brings me to that space of self, my heart, what I'm feeling, not what I'm thinking of, what I'm feeling. Now, you will get little monkey brain thoughts of like, oh, gosh, I want to have something to eat, but I'm going to eat, or what time am I going to pick up the kids, or whatever it might be. You can have those thoughts and then let them go by. It's okay to have them. You acknowledge them, let them go by, and go back to your breath. And I guarantee you, sweetheart, within the next, if you do it every day, 15, 20 minutes, probably within 2 weeks, you'll start feeling much more empowered and more into your heart space instead of your head. And when you hear from the spirit world, it's a subtle feeling. It's a subtle sense. It's not going to hit you over the head. Hi, I'm here today. Not at all. It's very subtle. It's a thought. I often use the analogy, if you want to hold a feather, you put your hand out and let the feather land on it. But if you put your hand out and try to grab the feather, you're never going to hold it. But if you put your hand out, it'll land there. It's interesting. So that's what I like to see, look at that. But we're in such a fast-paced society, we need to slow ourselves down. That's really, it's ironic because we got to slow ourselves down, yet the spirit world's very fast, right? But we can only hear them when we kind of slow down our mind in a way to a point, but we're able to hear them. So you want to hear them from your heart, not your head. That makes sense. You want to hear them from your heart space. It's almost like put your head to your heart, and put my chin down to my heart. And that's the best way to do it. So try that out. It'll work. Sheila Hudson, what do you feel about dreams, astral travel, premonition, etc.? Is this something that needs work? Is this something that needs work in my life as a gift and just coming through a dream state, or is it just a dream? Sheila, you did no idea what you're saying. You're saying 3 things at once. Astral travel, for those who don't know about it, is when we go to sleep at night, we will leave our bodies. Our soul leaves our bodies, usually the top of the head, crown chakra, and you're leaving the alignment of that body to the top of the head. But if you're not in alignment, sometimes you shake and wake up, like you're falling off a hill or something. That's because you're not leaving the correct axis. So what happens at sleep time, the soul leaves the physical body and you travel to the spiritual levels, other worlds, other levels of consciousness and awareness of beingness. And usually you're connected to the soul is connected to the physical body by what's called a silver cord. So it's very much like in the days in the 60s where there are spacewalks. There's a cord connecting them to the module. Same thing, that the silver cord is connected to the physical body, right in the solar plexus area. And you'll travel for miles and miles, I'm going to call it that. Of course, language is different in the spiritual levels. And you tend to see your loved ones. You've all had dreams of your loved ones that are so real. That's because you're on that level with them. Or you tend to see your guides or teachers, or you'll tend to go to classes preparing for an incident that's going to happen in the physical world. And then you'll come back in the morning and you'll be like, sometimes very exhausted because you've been working all night. And at the time of death, that silver cord is severed and you're free to go on. So with you personally, sweetheart, I would just say, Sheila, I would just say, number one, grounding yourself is number one. Meditation would be very good for you. There's a Monroe Institute that works a lot with astral travel. It's called Journeys. There's a book called Far Journeys that you should look up, Robert Monroe. But the Monroe Institute is a very good center to help people learn how to astral project out of the body, out of body experiences. And also my class, that One Day in Heaven, I do a lot of it. Okay. Lots of new comments. Okay. This is from So Lopman. Can we give our guides names if we don't know what they are? Well, I guess you could. I guess. Again, I talk about in the guide course how to contact them, how to be with them. I think it's more important to be aware of what the energy feels like for a guide instead of the name. Name is only important to the physical person. The guides don't have names usually. We like to place names on them for ourselves, but it's more energy, more energetic. So I would sense a guide by the energy that they're portraying to me. So they may send me a sense of a healing energy, which I know is a healing guide. I might have some philosophy in my mind, give input into my mind, and I know that's a philosophy guide coming through. So that's very, very important. So I'm going to ask a question for all of you. How do we know who do we know whose story it is? Well, Andrea, hold on for that thought just 1 second. I'm going to do a little bit thing here now. Have you all heard of Esther Hicks? Esther Hicks. She's a lovely channel of energy, and she works with guides come through. So I'm going to do a little bit of that with you now. So let's see. You can ask a question, maybe about yourself if you'd like to, and Renee will put a question up, and I'll connect on that level, on a guide level, and see what's going on. So give me a couple of minutes here, and let me just get into the space. Okay. If you have a question about yourself, anything you'd like to ask, go right ahead. Renee will put that up. I'm going to try something out, okay? So Renee, whenever you're ready, feel free. Is a common to hear God's a balls of light. Nobody knows those names. I'm just going to say to you that that's how you perceive it, and if that's how you perceive, that's fine. It's more about energy. So I'm just going to just bring myself to a higher level of inspiration here with my guides, and so you have to realize that that's how you portray it. It could be lights, it could be energy. Doesn't matter, but it's energy. We're just looking at it. Okay. Next. What do we do if we feel a more dark energy from time to time in meditation? Then you must look within yourself and see what you're not being full of love of. So there's got to be fear in a certain aspect of your mind, a certain aspect of your being. So what are you fearful of, and why are you afraid of it? Why are you being fearful? What is driving that fear? What is the motivation behind the fear? And that you have to ask yourself freely what that is, and why won't you release it into love? Everything is love, but if you hold on to, if you choke love, you fear, you're not in love. So what is holding you back from that loving energy that's inside yourself? So you have to ask yourself, why are you doing that to yourself? Okay. Can I see my mom who passed 7 months ago? Could be a guide. Very much could be a guide. And why don't you see her as your guide is my question to you. Why don't you allow yourself to see her as your guide? What is blocking you from letting you see her as your guide? Do you take the time to let yourself see her? Or you just think she's going to appear? We just have that sense that we can always just snap our fingers and they appear. You have to do the work. You have to give yourself a place for her to be, a space for her to come into your mind, and you have to open up that space in your mind for her to be, which means you got to prepare that space. And you prepare that space by opening yourself up and surrendering, breathing exercises, and sitting in the quiet of your being. And then you can have a full experience of your mom, if that's what you wish. Okay. Okay, Renee, next one. Linda Miller, what life lesson do I need to learn most? Linda, I would say for you, honestly, it feels as if that you give out so much, but you keep a little bit for yourself. And the feeling is that you need to give much more love to yourself, your own soul, than giving it out. You tend to give it out because some way you think you're going to get it back, that you have to give out that because you want that. You first have to be love, and you have to love yourself more than anybody else could. But the situation is that you're giving it out and not taking it for yourself, and you really need to take it for yourself. Okay, right. And I just keep them up there as long as until I finish speaking. Okay. Okay. Next, this is fun. Will I be able to walk again? Barbara, I want to tell you that I think, really honestly, I believe everything is possible in life. And I think that you have to make up your mind about that. Why don't you want to walk again? Or what is holding you back from walking again? On an emotional level, on a spiritual level. Again, there's fear there. So where's the fear coming in? What are you not feeling structured of? What are you not feeling supported in? Maybe that's a question you need to ask yourself. What are you not feeling supported in? But you have everything within you to do anything you want. So if you don't want to walk, you don't have to. That's your choice. But you can walk if you want to. And that's my feeling. Okay. Why is it that I see spirits standing over me, looking down at me as I sleep? because spirits are always around you. And when right before you go to sleep, you enter that alpha state. You'll go to a state where you're receptive to being closer to the other side because you're going over to the other side at night. That is why. Again, if you want to develop that further, I repeat myself again by saying sitting in the quiet of your being will help with that. But nothing to be afraid of. Don't be afraid. Fear, false ego appearing real. False ego appearing real. All there is love. Remember that. Humans create this fear. There's no such thing, but humans create it. All there is love. Or as I say, we're part of that one omnipresent nurturing energy. That's who we are. What takes you away from love? What takes you away from love? And make yourself write something down. Write down a paragraph of what holds you back from love. What holds you back from loving your children? What holds you back from loving yourself? What holds you back? Why? Is it programming you've been taught? Is it patterns you've been taught? So something you have to ask yourself. Okay, do a couple more. Yes. Hello. Do you know who your guides are? My guides change all the time. All of our guides change often. I know several of my guides. I do. Okay, and one more. Denise says, "Will my daughter ever get over her traumas and be happy again?" Denise Edwards. I think, Denise, if you will help her to do that, that sounds good. I think that some work is needed, but I think that I just feel, first, I would say, Denise, I want you first to work on your own traumas first. And let's see what happens there, right? 28-day transformation course, please, is excellent for this. Do that course first for yourself. First, clear up your traumas, because I sense that she's picking up something from you. So first, Denise, do your own work first. And then I want you to look back and see what's going on with your daughter. Can you do it together? No, I would first do it yourself, the 28-day transformation, and then she can do it on her own. That's what I would do. Easily, trauma is from experiences from the past. But she can. But a 28-day transformation will help you, and then after the experience, then see if it will really help her. Again, there's Renee. Do you have the name of the trauma group that Kelly talks about? You might want to put that up there too. It's an organization. Trauma. I don't remember the name of it. I should have it on my list here. Tonight I'm going to be doing a show with Kelly White, Both Sides Now and Beyond. And if you're interested, that will be tonight right here. Oh, there's Trauma Healing. Thanks, Renee. Trauma Healing, Denise. There it is. TraumaHealing.org. TraumaHealing.org. Please call them up, and they will help you because they're all over the country, and they work with the somatic experience of trauma, and that really is the best advice they can give you besides the 28-day transformation course. That would help. All righty. So tonight I've been working with Kelly and Renee, Both Sides Now and Beyond, tonight, Monday, 6 o'clock. And tonight we're going to talk about totems. And we're going to talk tonight about a totem that happened in my backyard with Kelly. And it was pretty wild. And it happened. It all came true. Pretty wild. So that's 6 o'clock tonight. And thank you, everybody, for joining me. And Renee, thank you. And hopefully we'll see you all tonight. And blessings of a day. And thank you for sharing the space. God bless.